Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Lastly, I'll be looking at the comments and responding for the next 3 hours after this video is released. If you want to chat, but you couldn't get your comment in within that time frame, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I'll put that in the description below, or email me. Thanks. All right, everyone. So we are just after market close on Monday, August 9th. We're going to take our Monday look at Palantir. We do this every Monday. So reminder to subscribe if you want at least weekly updates on Palantir. Sometimes I do them midweek as well if it seems warranted. So Palantir had a really nice day today, up over 5%. You know, this, to my mind, seems more likely that it's a pre-anticipatory run-up before earnings, which are coming on Thursday, I believe. Is that correct? Let's go. We have earnings whisperer up here somewhere, or earnings whispers. Top of the heap here, Palantir. So here are the expectations or the estimates that are out that then get treated like expectations. So we'll see what they do with those numbers. Obviously, Palantir has a pretty solid history with their earnings calls, so some folks could be trying to come in expecting that there's going to be a bump up coming. That said, they aren't showing any expected revenue growth projection, so I don't know, if that's subject to change or if that's still going to remain come Thursday morning, but they are set to release that before the opening bell. So we'll see what happens there, but this would be a nice opportunity for it to run up. Obviously, these levels that we have in this chart, to my mind, are still holding up quite well. If you go back a couple of weeks, we put this chart together and basically are looking at this as one big impulsive move up from 1706 to 2750, and then the first retracement back down, bringing us to that 2055 level, and then these would be the extension levels up from that. Now if you go back and look there, you'll see I'm talking about my price target to the upside that I have at the moment is this $30.99 level, that 100% extension level, and with the potential to trim along the way. I think that $27 range could be quite dicey, that red box, because of the previous topping out you see back here, and even before that it was an attempted support zone. You see where it was falling there, attempted to gain support there, and it was even topping out in that range back here, which was January of this year. So a lot, sort of a storied past at that price range, so I would be looking for it to potentially get dicey there. So if we do see some good running up, I might trim some. I might take some profit off the table as we get very, very close to $27, maybe at 27, expecting that 27.25, 27.30 is going to potentially get a little challenging. But I am still looking for that $30.99 level to close out the position for the time being. That is, of course, unless there's other factors coming into play, and if at that point I think, oh no, it makes sense to extend this upper price target, then I'll either just trim some position or go ahead and just keep it and sort of look toward that next price target. So we'll zoom in here on a minute so we can take a look at the 5-day chart just to get a sense of where things might go this week, though it's going to get a little wonky because of earnings. But the MACD right now, nice bullish crossover, is holding. You see it sort of threatened on this big red day here to come back down, and a nice bump up in volume. I know that this was a Friday also, so take that for what you will, but it was down this day over 3% and just over 24 million in volume, and then today up over 5% and 35 million in volume. So that's a good sign, though it has been really low volume recently. You see down here, you see the volume has peeled off quite a bit, especially since that June 25th peak or run-up that we saw, and it's really pretty consistently come down since then. And even at this point today, coming in with 35 million, it still is 12, almost 13 million off of the average volume for the last 3 months. So if we're really going to run up and have a strong showing for earnings and or through earnings, that volume, in my mind, is going to have to continue to come up quite strongly, quite significantly. if there's going to be hope for a sustained run up, hence that $30-$31 price target that I have. But we do see here the MACD stretched down to this point on its previous dip, and now on this most recent dip that we've squashed, since it now has a bullish crossover, quite a bit less bearish momentum coming in. So that could be a sort of a longer term sign that that bearish momentum is dying down, and that the bullish momentum has the opportunity to continue to pick up, which we see from these areas here to this most recent area on the histogram here. So, if and when we do come to stretch up, I would look for it to surpass this height on the histogram. And we are coming obviously from underneath the baseline, so that gives plenty of run room if Palantir is able to put together a run here. There's plenty of opportunity for it based on the MACD. Now on the RSI, we're just getting through this midline. So I've been talking about this quite a bit. The midline, very important, and we did have this bit of a dip here again because of that big red day, but overall it didn't come down further than we saw here, I think. Is that correct? We were at 40.9. This is 42.6. So still making higher lows and now making higher highs again, and this will be the big test in my mind for the RSI. What's it going to do at this mid-range here? Typically if it can establish sort of support like you would think of for price action over the midline, it tends to just really get pushed down and crumble down, like you see over here, like you see here when it tried to hold and then it got shoved down. So this is going to be an important couple of days, just prior to earnings, actually, to, in my mind, kind of determine if there's a run to be had here or not. On the MA side of things, a couple of other factors. Now, we're in a bearish formation now, meaning the 200, which is just arriving, is just above the 50. So it's 200, then 50, then 20. But our candlesticks are now closing over the 20 as of today. I mean, I guess it did on Thursday and even on Wednesday, but today with the nice big green day, highest high in a while, and also, like I said, closing above that 20. So if we can get this 20 curling around, those will be the next possible bullish signals that are thrown. The 50 establishing above the 200, the 20 crossing over the 200, and then the 20 crossing over the 50. Now, if that can happen, and this is me hoping that it will, obviously, that would be in a fully bullish formation, and again, gives us additional elevating factors that could help lift the price and drive us to test this red box again. So those are the main things I'm looking at. Those crossovers for the MAs, the MACD to continue to build here and establish above the baseline, and the RSI to hold the midline and make its push toward overbought. Now, let's go zoom in relatively quickly and take a look at the 5-day just to see if there's anything additionally interesting happening. I mean, you do see this nice uptrend that was interrupted, but if you sort of reject the outlier and kind of take a look at what's been going on, we are sort of in this kind of a channel here on the short term that could give it the opportunity to continue to grow and establish over that 2301 and start to finally go through some of those extension zones. It's just sort of like had a hard time getting over that zone. As you can see, spent a lot of time between that 2055 and that 2301. So it hasn't yet even started on these extension levels, in my opinion. But there's this channel opportunity if it can settle into it, and it would give it really nice continued growth up. I mean, this would put us closing tomorrow potentially near mid 23s, and definitely extending up toward 24 toward the end of the week. So I'm hoping actually there's more parabolic movement, to be honest, with earnings, and especially with knowing what Palantir's history with earnings has been. Let's do a quick check-in on the data. If we come over here now, just to clear a couple of things up, if Palantir continues to put in a few back-to-back green days here and does have a strong run up, I wouldn't be shocked if you do see some short interest coming in. Right now it's very, very low. It's been very, very low in Palantir for a long time, so no major pressure from that element, as far as I can tell. Did see almost a 5% increase today per Ortex's estimate, but that still only brings it to 2% of the float being shorted. So not much there, but I would just be cautious, keep an eye on it as Palantir creeps up maybe over the $25 mark, could sort of initiate some additional pressure from the short sellers. There's also some of these alerts coming in for call options. They are loving these unusual options activity alerts these days, so I guess it just allows them to create more articles to click on or whatever. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Palantir at the moment. I think, this is a good opportunity to say there's a run up that's coming for earnings. It's definitely leaning in that direction. Establishing over this 2301 target would clear the way to make an attempt at this 2454, and at least then gets us starting to check some of these boxes toward this extension, sort of like seeing if this extension can actually play out in real life. For now, it sits here as a hypothesis only. All right, well, good luck this week. It should be interesting. I certainly wish you the best with Palantir or whatever you are trading. I will see you in the next video.